Alright, welcome back to the channel. If you're just joining me for the first time, welcome. I have the Colt 1903 hammerless pistol back out at the range with the target set up at about 10 yards. I'm going to have a look at the accuracy of this weapon as is using a standard Remington green box of 32 caliber 71 grain full metal jackets. I got this gun about 3 months ago, but I've only been able to shoot it once, which was documented in my first video I did on this piece. I say as is because in addition to only shooting it once, I've not made any modifications to it whatsoever, not even bought a spare magazine, other than just giving it a thorough cleaning. I will in this sequence point out a couple warts on this pistol that I have noticed. I'm using my Caldwell shooting rest here to give it the best possible chance for success. Following a few minor adjustments, away we go. Since I'm recording from this position, it's worth mentioning first that the barrel bushing is incredibly loose. You may notice here that it's not lined up well with a slide spring plug below the barrel. I can't really tell exactly if it's wiggling when it fires, but I wouldn't doubt it because it is very loose. And this isn't because of the camera angle, that's because it's wore out. This was a very busy day at the range, and the safety officer called a ceasefire just after firing the first magazine. I took this chance to mark my hits, which were all in the top right quadrant of the target. I was aiming for the bottom of the X, but in future sequences I had to aim just a little bit lower than that and adjust. I inspected this barrel with my endoscope, and to me it looks pretty rough. The lands and grooves are very well worn, and I suspect this piece has seen a lot of rounds put through it, maybe even corrosive ammo. The serial number in this weapon is the 56,000 range, which Colt tells me it's a 1907 manufacture date. To me, that's pretty incredible that any working machine built 5 years before the Titanic sank is still functioning with little maintenance. The retailer I purchased it from did tell me that their armor replaced the extractor and test fired it. I don't know much of the history of the 32 caliber cartridge, but I'm guessing it was a popular carry alternative for self-defense as opposed to the 38 special to the 45 automatic. The firearm itself is light and easy to shoot, as well as fairly comfortable, even compared with modern polymer pistols designed for concealed carry. When I slowed this footage down and watched it over, you could really tell that even the recoil as each round is fired isn't that severe, even though the cartridge is very small anyway. Sometimes I couldn't even really tell that the slide had moved. These sequences I fired without a break because the RSO didn't call another ceasefire before I finished the box of ammo, which by the way was $37.99 at Bass Pro Shops. That's a little bit cheaper than my local gun shop. I noticed a fine crack in the grips after the last range trip, and this session just proved to be a little too much for it. The grip split, and a small section of the bottom came off. I fiddled with it for the rest of the day. I can't say with 100% certainty, but I can say with 90% certainty these grips probably came original with the gun. The Colt symbols and letters on the grips are very worn, and it's clear when you look at the underside they've soaked up plenty of gun oil over the years. Grips for this pistol are easy to find and readily available, but I also like keeping it as original as possible. Drop me a comment below and let me know what you think. Should I get new ones? I almost feel like it would be a disservice to the firearm just to throw them away. One thing that I didn't mention at the beginning is that with most of my older guns, I put a few drops of oil in the sliding frame to help it function well, starting each range trip. With my more modern guns, I generally don't do this, but on my senior citizens, I find that it helps. Of course, I oil them when I clean them, but with my older guns, I begin the trip with a little bit of lube. I'm not an expert pistol shooter, but here's a look at the results as controlled conditions as I could muster. Acceptable given the caliber, age, and mileage of the weapon, but entirely possible under a stressful situation to miss the bad guy altogether in a standing unsupported position. Thanks for watching, thanks for coming by, and I'll see you in the next one.